Hey everybody, I just want to go through really quick and walk through how I embed some Google Drive things into Canvas. One of the things that I found uh, even during the very beginning of the pandemic is that I had so much content in some of my modules in Canvas that while it was relatively easy for me to explain what the students needed to look up when we were in class, when we were remote, it was much harder. So over the past couple of years, I've been trying to simplify things. Well, let me just go. So this is my home page. I click on my modules button. I come to my modules. This is where I'm at. And I've got two things here. An old paint or a current painting unit where it says topic 6, beginning painting, and I have a slideshow and assignment, a slideshow, and then an assignment. When I come down to the next unit, I have several old things here, and those will be gone pretty soon because what I found is the fewer things I can have that the students have to scroll through, the better. If I'm more specific with how I name them, the better. It just ends up being less work for me because it's more obvious for them. And in terms of that, if I click on the very first thing in every single module that I have, these days it's just a slideshow. And this slideshow is usually, if not always, exactly what I'm showing them in class. It goes through like any other slideshow so that they always have access to exactly what we see in class. Hyperlinks, videos, pictures, all of that stuff is there so that they can review it after I've already done it in class, be it at tutorial, during the next class when there's work time, when they're at home. There's really kind of no excuse because all of the content for that unit is all in one place. I mean, yes, they might have to click through a few slides, but that's a pretty first world problem that I'm not going to sweat too much about. The way I embed these is exactly the same way I embed a Google Doc, which is what I've got here, that they can scroll through. And the reason I have stopped building text pages in Canvas and started embedding Google Doc pages into a text page in Canvas is that, well, first off, I can take one document and share it super easily between courses because any changes that I make once I embed it, any changes that I make in Google Drive, once it has been embedded into Canvas, the changes are live. So I don't have to wonder whether I change the one thing. Even if it's just my syllabus at the beginning of the year, I change it once and it automatically goes to all of the places. I don't have to do as much work. So how do I get there? Well, let me get to a blank assignment first. So here's one, and I have my Google Doc already set up here. As you can see, I've got a couple hyperlinks here. I've got directions and reminders and reminding them how to submit it. But if I go to File, come down to Share, and I'm going to actually publish to the web. I don't want to just get a link, so I will click on Embed. I'm going to publish this. Yes, I'm actually sure I want to publish this. And here's the HTML code. I don't really know what all of this means. I'm just going to copy that by pressing Command C, coming back to Canvas. I'm going to click on Edit, and I don't do anything in this main box, which is where I used to type everything up. I'm going to come to this little HTML code symbol down here on the bottom right and just paste everything in there. This is almost it. There's one little tricky thing that I have found through trial and error and through searching the interwebs. So at the very end of the top line here, after where it says true and there's a little quote mark, and I'm going to put spaces in here because it's easier visually, width equals, quote, 100%, end quote, height equals, the height anywhere 6 to 900 I have found works. Depends kind of more on the device when I watch the students working through this. So I'm going to put, I'm going to put a quote and then 700, and I'm going to end that quote here. So when I come back down to the bottom right and I click on this HTML symbol, this is what the students will see. And for me, they're usually on an iPad, so this blank space over on the right is a non-issue, but they can scroll this, they see all of that. I'll go through as usual, tell them what type of submission, tell them the due dates, all of that, and then I'm just going to click save. And this is what they've got. This again, I have found it allows me to simplify how much I have in Canvas. If I basically keep everything in Google and I have a slideshow or two and an assignment or more in one module or one unit, and it takes away a lot of excuses from them in terms of, well, I didn't know where to find it or where is it, because it's all right there. Everything we go over in class, all of the directions in multiple ways, it's all right there. So I hope this helps. I have found it to be really useful, and I think the students have too. So take it for what it's worth. We'll see you next time.